Hey everybody, it's Adam again and welcome back to my garage. Well, today we are working on the 2019 Yukon Denali. The front shocks blew out about 106,000 miles and we managed to drive it another 6,000 miles this summer. About time to switch them out before it starts getting cold out here. So I'm working on that today and got the driver's side done. Got all the swearing and cussing and cursing out of the way with that one. What in the gosh darn hang. And we're going to document how we did it on the passenger side here. Hopefully you'll learn something just like I learned something on the driver's side. Come along for the ride. So first things first, we are going to work on the connector up on top of there. You can see it coming out of the top in the middle, and there's 3 nuts around the outside. We're going to go ahead and disconnect those as well. Then we're going to move it down underneath here and get the truck up on jacks and remove the 2 bolts down on the bottom side here. Pull that strut out, take the spring off, and reassemble it to the new strut. And I'll show you what's in the box in a second. So there's a little gray clip on the back here. You gotta push that clip out, push down on here, and separate it right like that. And I'll show you once we pull this off how all that goes together. And there's a couple of clip routing mounting points here that go around the top of the screws that come through the strut tower. You want to get those pulled off here as well to get those out of the way in order to get the strut tower off of there. Okay, got all those off the top there. So this little guy, there we go. And we're gonna go ahead and loosen up these 3 bolts up here. And we're gonna jack the truck up and then get the 2 out underneath. These are a 18mm socket. And 3. Let's go underneath. We got a 15mm bolt on the bottom side here. Number 1 and number 2. Might require a little bit of persuasion here. There we go. And there we go. Let's go ahead and get this spring compressed, disassembled off of here. Also, a little word to the wise, a lot of road grime and grease and everything underneath here. Not something you want to wear your Sunday's best with, but just keep that in mind when you're rolling around and trying to do this with a nice vintage Ford Cosworth Subway kart Indy car crew shirt on. Okay, we got the springs compressed there. We're going to go ahead and remove this little clamshell off of the electrical connector so we can get a wrench down on top of there and start taking apart the spring assembly and the shock absorber here. This little dust cover on here, the only way to get a wrench down over top of this is to remove the harness itself. So we're going to go ahead and cut this connector off. We're going to save this for later. I'll show you in a second what we've got to do with the new strut as soon as we get that out of the box there. Okay, So this was a 18 millimeter on here. Put that guy in there. And then there's a double D shaft on the end of here as well that comes through the shock piston there. It's actually a 9 millimeter will work on there. And you just want to loosen this guy up and pull it off of there. Actually, it looks like it's spinning out on its own here, which is good. Probably don't need the 9 millimeter on there. But the thing to watch is even if you got this compressed over here, there still could be some spring load on there. So you want to pay close attention to how loose this nut feels on the end here as you're removing this off of here. If you feel a lot of resistance all the way through the end of the threads, you still got some spring pressure built up there. You got to be careful. I think we got low enough resistance here because the whole thing is spinning on us, which is good. So we're just going to use the 9 millimeter and work this guy out. Okay, she's loosened up enough there where you can see you got threads between the nut and the top of the hat here. So that spring is adequately compressed there. We're going to go ahead and save this for later. And we're going to pull this guy out from underneath here. Just like that. See how it comes apart? We're going to keep the spring compressed here because with the new shock, we want to put it back on just the way we pulled it off. So we're going to put that back together now. And look at how juicy this thing is. So that thing's been leaking for a while. She's in pretty bad shape. Time to replace them. All right, let's take a look at what we've got in the box here. So these are Dorman 949-700 for the 2015 through 2020 Suburbans and full-size SUVs for GM. So there's our shock absorber right there. We'll set that aside for now. And they got a couple extra clips down below. And actually on the other side when I put these on, these clips rolled right off of there. So we might have to resort to putting on some loose nuts there to do that. They've got an extra harness in here because in order to get this whole thing back together, you can't have a connector on there. So what we're gonna end up having to do is solder on the old connector that we pulled off and put some moisture sealed shrink wrap on there and basically put a new connector on here. And we're gonna put our whole strut back together with the spring there. Okay, so we've got the connector cut off of here. We pinned the ends of this harness here. We're gonna go ahead and put the spring hat and everything back on because you cannot physically get this connector through the hat. So basically we'll get the hat back on there, then we'll solder the connector up and we'll put shrink wrap on there. One thing to keep in mind is down below here, typically these two mounting points will line up with the outside where this step goes down here, where the hat goes up on top. This guy is typically out towards the facing the outside of the truck so you can see it when you look into the fender well. So we're gonna wanna line this up as close as we can here in order to have it pretty close once we wanna go put it in the vehicle. All right, there's some plastic alignment pins up on the top of here too. You got to pay attention to where those are as well because you can crush them if you're not careful. There's a little pin over here. There we go. All right, we're going to go ahead and put the nut up on top of here along with the washer here, and we're going to get that started on there. We'll get her cranked down here pretty good. And then once it's in the vehicle, we're gonna check it one more time once everything's loaded up on it, just to make sure she's tight. But there we go. Feels pretty good there. Now, we're gonna go ahead and get some shrink wrap cut, and we're gonna get these guys soldered together here and get this thing put back in the truck. So the stuff I use on anything underneath the hood, it's called dual wall shrink tubing. Basically, it's regular shrink tubing, but it's got like an adhesive on the inner liner of it. So when you end up heating it up and shrinking it down to the tube after you've soldered it, it'll seal it off from water. And I'll show you in a second what that looks like once we get that soldered up on there. So my lovely heat gun is broken. We're going to resort to ancient methods for heating up shrink wrap tubing here. And basically, we'll just do this to get a nice, good, watertight seal around there. I'll show you in a second what this shrink tubing looks like, this dual wall stuff. Give her a little pinch around there just to seal her up good. So let's show you the shrink wrap tubing here. Basically, and I've used this underneath the hood on the LS6 Sonoma. It's been good for a good 10 years. But you can kind of see a clear little adhesive coming out there. When you heat this up, it's basically like a hot glue tube on the inside of there. Squeezes out, it creates a nice moisture tight seal on there. We're gonna go ahead and tape this guy up, and then we're gonna put it back in the truck. All right, let's go ahead and get these spring clamps off of here. Again, this is the outside here where you see this line, and then you want to get these pretty well lined up, perpendicular with that line there, so these guys are lined up once you get it into the truck. You're going to want to have at least one of your nuts handy as you're putting this back up in here, because you got to have something that holds the hat in place once you get everything up in there. Hopefully we get it far enough to start this guy. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put the top 3 nuts in, and then we're going to come underneath here and compress this guy. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put all the electrical stuff back on. There's a little barbed clip that goes underneath the connector. And there's this little clamshell that goes around the outside of the connector that we soldered on up at the top of the shock. Get everything connected up, put all the harnesses back in place, then we'll go underneath and get those last 2 bolts up on the bottom. Okay, so we got the connector put back in on top of here. Got everything bolted down up on the top here as well with the impact gun, and all of the harness eyelets are put back where they should be. Let's take a little closer look here. So you can see here we got the harness coming out the top. Over back this way there's our connector behind this heater tube here. That little gray piece on the end there, you want to make sure you press in after you connect the shock tower connector back to the vehicle harness. And then you've got the eyelets around from right to left, and then back along that backside there. You got all that mounted back up. You don't want these harnesses flopping around here, especially close to the exhaust manifold coming off of there. But basically up on top here, we are all buttoned up. Let's get down underneath. So underneath here, you can see obviously that this guy is below where it should be. It's got to be up on top of the lower control arm here. Even if you push down, it's pretty tough getting that guy over there. So we're gonna go ahead and put the jack up underneath this, jack it up just high enough, and hope that it returns slow enough that we can pull the bottom of the shock to the shock mounts over here and get it sitting up on top of there, and we'll drive our bolts in. Okay, so that is just over the top of it here. That we want to take it down slow, kind of pull out on the strut here as it's lowering down, and it ought to be enough to let us get this pulled over. There we go, there we go. So she pulled over a little bit far there, but I think we're close enough that we'll be able to get this thing lined up to get her put in there.
Why? How did it break, Dad?
How did what break?
The truck.
Well, it's old, honey, so you gotta fix it. Yeah. When things get a little older, you gotta start fixing them, honey. Sometimes it takes a little bit of finesse to get this thing lined up. But once she lines up, she'll be able to get these guys started in here. There we go. Now on the driver's side there, we weren't so lucky, and these clips up on top of here basically twisted off as soon as we started getting a little bit of torque on this. I guess we'll keep an eye on it and see what happens with these. And if these guys start, yeah, it's twisting right now, we'll see what happens. So the top of these things got bound up on there as well. I'm just going to rip them off and I'm going to put these nuts on here. Just like the other side, I shouldn't have expected anything different. These things basically bent up. These clinch nuts up on the top here basically started bending off. And we're going to have to figure out a way to get these guys off of here. Luckily, I never throw out any bolts or nuts, anything that I got from any other projects. I had these guys laying around here. They're locking nuts that'll lock up on top of there, so I'm confident we can use them on the suspension here. But basically it's unfortunate because the same thing happened on the other side. These clinch nuts basically just warp right off as soon as you start to get to the prevailing torque feature up on the top there. All right, we're all tight down here. Everything looks good up underneath here. We're going to let the truck down and we're going to turn it on, make sure there's no codes or anything like that related to the suspension, and take her for a test drive down the road. All right, let's get her started and we'll get the wheel back to center here. And nice thing is no check engine lights, nothing like that on here. We'll take her for a ride down the road and see how she looks. She's definitely low speeds floating pretty good right now, and definitely not as bouncy. Well, that's good. But yeah, so far she feels good. We're not just bouncing up and down over each of these bumps. Typically this thing would bounce and take a couple of cycles to settle out, but man, she feels pretty good right now. So I would say this is a success and life is good. We are back into smooth sailing with the Magneride suspension here on our 2019 GMC Yukon Denali 4-wheel drive 6.2 liter. Man, it feels good to be riding in something that's comfortable again. It's actually on par now with the 2011 Yukon Denali hybrid 4-wheel drive that we've got in the stable as well. If you want to see more of this content, go ahead and hit like and subscribe down below. Appreciate you watching, and go ahead and share this with your friends. Thanks and have a great day.